Yo, what is up everyone? We are back again today for another Rent-A-Girlfriend chapter. I do think that this chapter does give us a few hints on what is to come in the future of the series, near future of the series, especially regarding Kazuya and Chizuru's relationship. But yeah, with that being said, let's just hop straight into chapter 433 of Rent-A-Girlfriend. This video is going to be kind of on the shorter side just because of the contents in this chapter. I can't really show everything on screen, but for the most part, this chapter is just internal monologues of Ruka for the first half and Kazuya for the second half. And yeah, we're starting with Ruka at night after her encounter with Umi-kun, in which Umi was saying, hey, maybe we should team up. Our goals are kind of aligned, in which, you know, in Umi's case, he likes Chizuru, Ruka likes Kazuya, and if they can somehow get them to break apart, they would both be winners. The first half of this chapter is just kind of Ruka thinking to herself, like, why did I even talk to Umi? And trying to reason why he's even, you know, trying to help her. From Ruka's perspective, she can see that Umi knows mostly what's going on with Kazuya and Chizuru, at least more than she does, and Ruka does want to get some more information on that. But she's also feeling this kind of pressure where she doesn't want Umi to snitch on her to Chizuru, saying that, oh, you know, if Ruka and Kazuya were being a little too flirty. I don't know why she wouldn't want that, but because I guess from my perspective, like, isn't that exactly what Ruka wants? But yeah, she's just a maiden in distress, I guess. I don't know what they even say anymore. This series has just been going on way too long, and I'm low-key sick of it, bro. I'm low-key sick of it. After the whole birthday incident, bro, like, I've tuned out of this series, unfortunately. But we are getting some mommy, which was the, you know, past few chapters. Maybe I'll do like a whole little arc review once the driving school is over. But yeah, enough about that. Ruka basically comes to the conclusion that, you know, maybe she should team up with Umi because, in her opinion, she can make him happier. She can make Kazuya the happiest man alive. And also she's thinking, oh, well, she shouldn't feel so bad about doing this behind their backs, behind Chizuru and Kazuya's backs, because they were sneaking in the first place. They were being all secretive, having this, you know, fake relationship in the first place. And this is kind of basically the end of her thought process. Whatever, read the chapter, bro. Read the chapter. Like, I'm not showing the panels. But yeah, she gets out of the bath, and that's basically it with Ruka for this chapter. Right after this, we cut to Kazuya. He is a hunk in training, I guess, bro. He's doing push-ups. He's reading his love letter or love confession to Chizuru, right? To himself. You know, he's saying how cringy, how corny this is, and he just doesn't know the right way to confess. At this point, I don't know how many times he's actually like confessed his love, I guess. I don't know why he's stressing about it. You know, I guess he doesn't see Chizuru's perspective, but you know, it is what it is, bro. Let Kazuya live, bro. Just let him roll around, let him be a little goon, bro. Like, but yeah, he goes and thinks back to Umi's confession and saying, wait, this is kind of easy, isn't it? I mean, you just say, I love you, whatever, and that the confession should be super simple. But he's just in his head, like always, saying, you know, Mizuhara probably has guys confessing their love and asking her out on dates at least 3 times a day. And basically he's just saying, like, he doesn't want to be perceived as all the other guys, so that's why he's doing all of this training and getting his driver's license and whatever he's doing. He's trying to become a better man, I guess. You know, he's trying to lock in. He's trying to do something with his life. But here there is something important, at least to me, right? This is the reason why I decided to wake up from my slumber and cover this series once again. We get this small panel first of back when Chizuru says, don't you think maybe the one you love is Chizuru Mizuhara? You know, he gets to thinking, and what he says to himself is that I don't think there's a big difference between Chizuru Mizuhara and Chizuru Ichinose. They both work super hard, do their best, always try to do the right thing, and seem perfect, but at the same time, not perfect. That is exactly what makes her perfect. Like, okay, whatever. And then he writes this in his, like, love confession letter. To me, I don't think this is going to work, right? I think it's nice that he's saying this, that, like, to him, they're, you know, one and the same. It's just kind of, you know, a different side of her personality. So it's good in that aspect, but at the same time, she ends off the letter saying, I love you, Mizuhara. And that's kind of how he's been referring to Chizuru this entire time, right? He's been referring to as Mizuhara. And, you know, that's her stage name. to put it lightly, right? That is not her real name. That is her rental girlfriend name. And he just doesn't ever call her by, you know, Ichinose or just Chizuru, right? Which is something that he should be doing, I think. Yeah, and I personally, I don't think until he calls her by her real name, anything is going to happen with their relationship. You know, he goes and finds some like random picture that I have of them on a rental date, and then he tries practicing his confession or whatever. And basically he's just trying to, you know, hype up this moment of this confession that he wants to do, saying that Mizuhara is waiting for it, for that perfect, unforgettable moment, even after we start dating. If I could do that, it would be amazing. This is for you. This is all for you. And then he goes and says it once more. I love you, Mizuhara. And right here, yeah, Mori walks into the apartment, and yeah, it's just kind of awkward. And that's kind of the end of the chapter. But as we can see, we're nearing Mother Farm arc. We're nearing their trip. I thought this was gonna happen like 3-4 months ago, but it's happening now, or hopefully soon. I guess we'll have like Chizuru's little performance beforehand, and we'll see if this is like him practicing like I love you, Mizuhara. Like I don't think it's gonna work. I think what's gonna happen is he's gonna get rejected, and then who knows. I really don't want there to be like another super long arc. Hopefully it's just like a little like maybe 2-3 chapter sequence of saying like I want you to call me by my real name. You know, there might be a chapter saying like of him trying to explain like, oh, I think of you guys as one and the same, but that's kind of like, bro, like, dude, to me it just doesn't make sense. Why he's just not calling her by Chizuru, you know, call her cheese, get the cheddar, bro. That's kind of my conclusion on this whole predicament. That's been my conclusion for the longest time, until he kind of recognizes or can separate Mizuhara from Chizuru or Mizuhara from Ichinose. I don't think that their relationship can get any, I wouldn't say better, but I would say like nothing's gonna be finalized, right? Until that occurs. And you know, that could also cause some tension, or that could be a pain point that Ruka and Umi bring up to try to separate them. And I can see that working pretty well. Maybe they like seed some information into Chizuru's mind, like saying, oh, well, Kazuya only recognizes you as Mizuhara, and that's all it's ever been. I could really see something like that happening, because as we're seeing in the story now, Chizuru's feelings are becoming more and more apparent. Not like she hasn't presented them towards Kazuya, but as we can see when the series or when the story cuts to her, it's very obvious. And yeah, that's kind of what I think about Chizuru and Kazuya. For Ruka, like I said, she's probably gonna have something to do with this whole Chizuru Mizuhara drama, and I have no clue how in the world mommy fits into the story at all at this point in time. You know, her main goal has been to serve as that kind of chaos ensuer. So maybe she also teams up with Ruka. I don't know. It kind of seems like mommy, like her whole character design, or like how she's been used throughout the series, is going to be, you know, basically what I'm trying to say is Ruka and Umi are kind of taking her position over right now. So I have no clue. I have no clue what's going to happen with her. They really should have just shafted her along with Sumi, but yeah, they didn't. So, you know, Reiji got something in the bag for her character, I guess, or maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, that's basically my thoughts and opinions on chapter 300 or 433. Oh my goodness, I've been reading this for way too long. And yeah, if you guys have any insider knowledge on this series, because why would you, let me know in the comments. Let me know what other series you want me to cover. I'm gonna try to do Shiuji Family soon. Lemon, I think, well, if there's a new chapter, I'll cover the new chapter, or if there's not a chapter this week, I'll cover the chapter that dropped last week. Maya Naka Tune, I might. Just depends on how I'm feeling. The chapter was really good. But yeah, I mean, I gotta get back into the swing of things. Hope you guys understand. You know, no camera today because I was just too lazy to set it up. So hopefully I can make do with this recording. But yeah, that's really about it. So I'll see y'all.